Putrajaya. So we have a lot of people come from there. We have people come from PJ and KL as well, and they've come and made their home here. When people feel that the place is good for them to become your home, we are very happy, because that's where you bring up your kids, and it's important that that they feel secure and safe in the environment, and that's a place where they come home to every day.
Yeah, and a lot of developers overlook the fact that a township needs to be green, needs to be livable, and needs to be exhilaratingly inviting in terms of landscaping. And when I step into KEN Rimba, I feel that it's been here for a lot of years, but you guys are really actually very new. So that's what we're going to talk about, having that right kind of landscaping in a township, and how it can really uplift the lifestyle and the living concept that one would love to be in. So I'll see you again on the next segment. Okay, thanks for staying with us, and we are back on In Realty. As promised earlier, we're going to talk about the landscaping in KEN Rimba. Believe it or not, it's 12 in the afternoon. I don't have to squint, I'm not sweaty, hence it has got to do with good landscaping and good environment,
and
right?
You feel the breeze here,
I can feel the breeze as well. And believe it or not, we are actually at the back lane of the township.
Yep.
So you managed to turn a, what used to be a common road by the or alley where people normally park their car into a really nice small little garden. So was that what you've always imagined it to be?
Yes, I mean it's not without obstacles.
Okay.
But we managed to work together closely with the local council and BSA to make this a reality. At the end of the day, if you look at typical back lanes, they are very much neglected. But today, what we try to do, we try to introduce that community concept again. It's reintroducing what was always there last time. When you get people to work together, they communicate as a community, they create automatic community policing. They get closer to their neighbours, they enjoy the place nicely, and you take away all the old areas where, like you said, people would just create a nuisance. They put their cars, they throw rubbish at the sides. But today, look at what we've done. We've created nice landscapes, water features. We made it sustainable, so we used solar pumps. So that it
Which is working?
Yeah, it is working now, you can see. Yeah. So it doesn't require energy. We face this all north and south. So what happens is you still get a bit of shade when the east and west sun comes in, and yet you still get the wind flowing through the entire alley. So you feel comfortable. And we have almost about 2 kilometers of back lanes and side lanes in Legian alone. So you're standing in our first phase of landed homes, which is completed, handed over end of last year. And we're very proud of this. Our owners love it. Now, when you bought a terrace house, when we started selling Legian, it was less than 400,000 ringgit. And no one would have imagined that they would get this. You see,
and it's not in the bushes?
It wasn't at all. No one knew what this was. It was a side lane to them. But the thing is, we had to work very closely together with the authorities to make this happen. And I think we're very thankful that this whole thing can become a reality. And people enjoy this. We see kids playing here. They ride on the community bicycles that we provide here. So it's good for everyone.
And when we talk about maintaining it, even for a little garden at home, it could be a tough challenge to maintain it. But here, I can see it's growing very well. So how do you rate the maintaining job for this kind of township?
I think it's not easy. It's always a constant schedule that you need to keep. So we have our landscapers going around constantly to maintain it all the time. One part of our green process is also to do natural composting. So the leaves and grass that we cut, we then put it into compost bins to turn it into fertilizers, so that it gets reused back to fertilize the soil here. It's a lot of effort, honestly, but we think that it's effort worth doing. So we make sure that we spend a lot of time to get the entire thing properly done out. They've got their own schedules, rotas, to make sure the entire township is done. And as it becomes more and more mature, it becomes very tangible for people. Look, we're standing underneath passion fruit trees. So when this is fully grown and the fruits come, owners can actually come and pluck passion fruits from here. So it works well, and hopefully next time we'll continue to encourage them to bring up maybe some little herb gardens. You can plant serai, you can put pandan leaves, in different areas, and it becomes usable for the community.
And it seems like you have carefully thought about all this. So for people like me who's already own a house and would love to have this kind of environment at home, what would your advice be, especially in in the sense of landscaping?
I think it's a matter of working together with the community. If you have no choice, of course, move to KEN Rimba. but if you already live in a home, it's about working together with your neighbour, because the land actually belongs to the council. So it's also working with the councils together to understand that what place you can and cannot use. The problem is a lot of it's public road. So if one person uses it for their benefit, other people might complain, and that becomes an issue. What we've done here was to set it up as a community from day one. Everyone knows that this is for everyone. It's gated, it's guarded, so only the owners get to live in here and then utilize this place. So what we've done is to preempt all the potential problems, community problems that could happen, especially neighbor squabbles, and we try to make it all tied up in a very nice and neat package for people. So we have to foresee all the issues beforehand and resolve them. And luckily, till today, we've had very good, happy people living here.
If I were to look at the developer's point of view, with all these wonderful things that I've offered to the people who live here, my major concern would be, would they be able to adopt the way of thinking that you are thinking as well? Because Green Township has been, has been there since forever, but only now in Malaysia that it's kind of been hyped up. So would your concern be of the same, whether the people living in here would not be able to maintain your effort and also your goals in making it a Green Township?
Well, I think when the old days where people started moving to high-rise developments came, then you saw a lot of neighbouring quarrels. People had to share suddenly. They had to share common areas. They had facilities, but they had to share. So it's about getting people to live together. I think a lot of people have gotten used to that fact, and with a landed home, it's better because you have more space to share. I think that we won't have too much of a problem because people already know what they're buying into. They know they're buying into a gated and guarded environment. They want to ensure that the guards are there. They want to know that they are protected. The people who live here, their family who live here, can walk around freely. So I think they already know. And we sell them that concept. We want them to know that the infrastructure is in place. It is in their interest to ensure that this is kept. And I think a lot of concerned owners who live here will also want to make sure that it's kept that way. So we are building that community from day one. It's very important. You cannot do something and then change it later.
Exactly.
It's very tough. So from the onset, we've already set that standard, we've done it in a certain way, and now it's about amalgamating the owners together, getting them into a cohesive unit, and then getting them to run it moving forward in their own lives. But if you do not have the proper infrastructure in place, it's very difficult for them to do it. What we have done is set everything up properly, so it's very easy for them to actually now come in and start managing. It's easy, and they want it because that's the benefit of their home. That's the selling point. If they were to on-sell it as a sub-sale property, that's the benefit they can sell to people. So I don't think anyone will want to let that go.
And with all these wonderful things happening, I couldn't think of any more greater things that you could have done. But talk to us about the future plans that KEN Holdings have for us that we can anticipate from.
Well, I think we've got a lot of upcoming projects in Genting, in JB, Penang, Malacca. We're all over the country, and as we've always done, they will always be sustainable projects. We are looking at bringing different levels of green to people. Our own head office, KEN TTDI, will be a very good example of that. It's not easy, it's very tough because we are always pushing the boundaries and we are always doing something that people have never done before. So not easy to always get it off the ground, but I think we can make it happen with the tenacity that we put into our projects, with the care that we put in. We always believe that we have to be careful, mindful and thoughtful. I think with that efforts put in, we should be able to do that.
All right, thank you so much, Sam, for your time. So you are going to show me one of the potential units that I could move into, right?
Yes, definitely.
In a bit?
Definitely,
okay.
no problem.
So there you go. If you are looking for that, green township, and if you're all big on green living, then come on over to KEN Rimba in Shah Alam, and you'll see it for yourself. As I always said, seeing is believing. So with that, I see you again next week on In Realty.